we're starting out with a pretty sunrise in Springfield. It's 70 degrees, so pretty warm on southerly winds at 3 miles per hour. It's 72 degrees in Monette and in Joplin, 68 degrees in Camdenton, and 65 in Mountain Grove. So warm and above average across the Ozarks, and sticky again with the oranges showing we're on the more sticky side of that muggy meter here. So at the bus stop, we'll have those temperatures in the upper 60s by dismissal. 94 feels closer to 100. We'll also flirt with the record of 96. So make sure the kiddos have some lightweight, light-colored clothes, especially if they have to do some after-school outdoor activities. Temperatures today in the low to middle 90s. Maybe a storm or two pops on the heat and humidity of the day, but most of us stay dry. We're clear and warm tonight with temperatures around 70 degrees. Lower 90s again tomorrow with maybe an isolated storm. Temperatures, or I should say the real feel with that humidity, that feels like will be up towards 90 degrees. No, 100 degrees today. That feels like up towards 100 degrees again tomorrow. The next 3 days stay mostly sunny, hot, and humid near record today, and tomorrow we'll have these temperatures staying pretty steamy in the low to middle 90s. The heat starts to chip away Friday into the weekend, back into the low to middle 80s by the weekend with some increase in storm chances. Joe?
The governor of Arkansas is focusing on digital technology and encouraging kids and teens to do the same. This morning, Hannah Zettel is in our studio to give us a little more detail on how this is all possible.
Well, that's right. Governor Asa Hutchinson made a stop at River Valley High School in Arkansas Monday to speak about coding. It's all part of his 2019 computer science tour. The governor spoke at Mulberry High School as well. That's one of the many schools across the state that has implemented coding and robotics. Hutchinson has allocated multiple resources to expand computer science education across the state, making Arkansas a national leader.
It's special today to come to Mulberry High School and talk to a small school, but they have scores of students that are taking computer science, and some of them are taking it online, but they're also taking robotics. They're competing in regional competitions, and so it's an illustration that we're making this available in every school in Arkansas.
Being able to go out and meet new people and just the communication and all with the robots and stuff really spoke out to me, and that's really cool.
This is the governor's 9th tour promoting computer science, and he's visited over 70 Arkansas schools.
A story now with your right to know this morning. Kenneth Davis is expected to be arraigned in court today. He's charged with abuse of a child leading to the death in the case of Kinsley Kilgore, who died last year in Douglas County. Last week, Davis was found guilty of 7 counts of abuse of an 8-year-old girl in Greene County as well. A former Nixa City councilman convicted of killing his wife has died in prison. 72-year-old Rodney Evans was pronounced dead early Sunday morning at the state prison in Licking. Evans had been there since 1995, serving a life sentence for murder in the '94 drowning of his wife, Sheila Robbins. Prison officials say he died of apparent natural causes. Cletus Barsh is a 43-year-old St. Joseph man that could face up to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to a boating accident that killed someone. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of boating while intoxicated, resulting in homicide, and 2 counts resulting in serious physical injury. The accident happened last year on Memorial Day weekend. His boat struck another, and 20-year-old Alec Potoff suffered a serious head injury, who died in August of that year. He'll be sentenced in March. 41-year-old Javon Denson will spend 24 years in prison for selling heroin. He led a drug trafficking organization that sold the drug a few years ago. A federal judge gave Denson prison time with no chance of parole, and when arrested, he was already on state parole for selling crack cocaine. To some medical coverage now. It's a good time to be on alert for signs and symptoms of hepatitis A. The Greene County Health Department is seeing an increase in those cases and encourages anyone who hasn't been vaccinated to do so as soon as possible. Hepatitis A is usually transmitted through eating contaminated food or water or contact through an infected person. The best way to prevent the disease is to get vaccinated, and it's a 2-dose vaccine that provides lifelong protection.
It can be a severe virus. Over half of all the cases in Missouri have been hospitalized, and we have had 2 deaths statewide.
So far, there has not been a case of hepatitis A in Greene County concerning a food worker just yet. The Senate president in Arkansas is proposing a new tax and regulations on vaping products in hopes that the governor will call lawmakers back to the Capitol to find a solution. Jim Hendren proposed this after becoming concerned about the rise of vaping among young people. The legislation would tax e-cig products the same amount as tobacco products and would ban vaping at the same locations where tobacco smoking is banned. If approved, the money raised from the tax would help schools with safety improvements and hiring of mental health counselors. Vaping is also now a national concern as numerous cases of lung disease are under investigation for their connections to it. Some scientists say they may have found a cancer-causing chemical in many of those e-cig products called pajulagone, and it has been found at high levels. The chemical is also in menthol and mint products, though one researcher says there's still plenty of cause for worry.
This is really a big health concern for the vapors because they're putting this chemical in much, much higher levels than what is accepted by FDA.
The FDA banned the chemical as a food additive last year. Some more local news for you now. There's an event that lets you go out to eat and also benefit first responders at the same time. The annual Creation fundraiser is being held today, and it benefits the Springfield Police Foundation and fire department's fire education and prevention efforts. You can go to Creation between 11 a.m. and 9 p.m., and half the proceeds from today will go toward that fundraiser. We take a look at what's trending now, and it's a story that's really been catching on that we brought you earlier in our newscast. What's happening up in Maine? A propane explosion destroyed a building. So far, reports of one firefighter is being killed, and also 7 others have been injured. The building has been destroyed, but the official death count would have been higher, but someone smelled a gas leak and was able to get some people out of there as we take a look at that right now. The cause of the explosion is still under investigation. Today is also September 17th, Elisa, which means it's Constitution Day. Did you know that?
I did, because I was listening to the radio this morning and they started to say the preamble. Fun fact, I know the whole preamble. I could recite it.
You want to do that instead of the weather?
No.
I would like you to. Come on!
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish... I got to do the weather.
You're on a roll.
94 degrees by dismissal, mostly sunny, hot, and humid. We stay in the 90s through Thursday.
I'm going to make you do it on Ozarks Fox AM. Switch on over to Ozarks Fox if you're not watching and see it there, everyone.